I gave my stepdad a Father's Day gift the same morning I decided I was done with him. Not because he deserved it, but because I needed him to open it. For years, I convinced myself he meant well. When my mom married him, I was 14, old enough to understand tension, but too young to fight it. He was loud, opinionated, and obsessed with respect. His favorite sentence was, "In this house, I'm the authority." And somehow, that authority extended to everyone, including my son. If this story touched your heart, don't just scroll. Subscribe and be part of this journey. Red Heart. When Noah was born, I promised myself something would be different. I wouldn't let him grow up afraid to speak. I wouldn't let him shrink himself to make someone else comfortable. Noah is 7 now, sensitive, kind, the type of child who rescues insects from the pool instead of squashing them. He loves drawing superheroes with capes bigger than their bodies. He cries during sad movies and hugs tight when he's scared. My stepdad calls that weak. At first, it was subtle. Why does he cry so much? You're raising him soft. Boys need discipline, not feelings. I brushed it off. Generational differences. I told myself. Different times. Then came the money. Last year, I lost my job unexpectedly. Bills piled up fast. My mom suggested I ask him for help just until things settle. I hated the idea, but I was desperate. He loaned me $5,000, but it wasn't a loan. It was leverage. Every family dinner became a reminder. Must be nice living off other people. You still haven't paid me back. Maybe if you worked harder. I swallowed it for months. Until the day he crossed the line. I was in the kitchen helping my mom clean up after dinner when I heard Noah's voice crack in the living room. I said stop. That tone. The one kids use when they're trying not to cry. I walked in just in time to see my stepdad holding Noah's sketchbook. Pages ripped out. Crumpled. Boys don't draw princess capes. He snapped. You want to be strong? Act like it. Noah's face was red. Not angry. Humiliated. And then my stepdad said something that made my hands shake. If your mom didn't owe me money, maybe she'd teach you better. He used my debt to shame my child. In that moment, something inside me clicked. It wasn't about the money anymore. It wasn't about pride. It was about my son looking at me, waiting to see if I would protect him. I walked over, took the torn pages from my stepdad's hand, and said calmly, "Don't ever speak to him like that again." He laughed. "Or what? You'll pay me back." I didn't answer, because I already knew what I was going to do. And that's why I bought him a Father's Day gift the next morning. A neatly wrapped box with a card that said, "For everything you've given this family." He had no idea what was really inside. Father's Day dinner was at my mom's house, like always. He sat at the head of the table, carving steak like he was the king of something he built himself. My mom fluttered around him. Noah stayed close to me, quieter than usual, his sketchbook tucked safely inside my bag. The wrapped box sat beside my plate. He noticed it halfway through dinner. Well, he smirked, wiping his mouth. Looks like someone finally appreciates me. I smiled politely. Go ahead, open it. My mom looked relieved. She probably thought this was my way of smoothing things over, of being mature. He tore the wrapping paper carelessly. Inside was a simple wooden frame. At first, he looked confused. Then he saw what was inside it. Not a photo, a contract, printed neatly, highlighted in yellow, a formal repayment agreement, $5,000, paid in full. Underneath, it was a bank receipt showing the transfer completed that morning. And below that, a second document, a notarized statement revoking his access to Noah at school, extracurriculars, and any emergency contact privileges. The room went very still. What is this? He asked slowly. It's your money, I said calmly. Every dollar. With interest. His face darkened. You think this is funny? No, I replied. I think using money to control a child isn't funny. My mom looked between us. Control? What are you talking about? I reached into my bag and gently placed Noah's torn drawings on the table. Crushed capes, ripped pages. My stepdad shifted in his chair. Oh, please. I was teaching him to toughen up. You told him I owed you, I said evenly. You used my debt to embarrass him. That's not what You said if I didn't owe you money, I'd raise him better. Silence. My mom's face went pale. I continued, my voice steady. You don't get to shame my son. Not in my absence. Not in my presence. Not ever. He scoffed. You're overreacting. He needs a man in his life. He has one, I said. Me. He laughed at that. Loud. Sharp. And that was when I slid the final envelope across the table. What now? He muttered. Open it. He did. Inside was a printed email thread. Screenshots. Messages he had sent me over the past year. Every time he reminded me about the money, every time he suggested I was incapable, every time he hinted that I owed him respect. I had saved them all. Highlighted phrases like, you should be grateful. Without me, you'd be nothing. Maybe I'll just talk to Noah about responsibility, since you won't. My mom covered her mouth. I never saw these, she whispered. You weren't meant to, I said gently. That's how manipulation works. It happens in private. He stood up abruptly. This is ridiculous. You're trying to humiliate me. I stood too. No, I'm drawing a boundary. I looked at him directly. You loan me money. I paid it back. Transaction complete. His jaw tightened, but the relationship. I continued. That's over. You can't just cut me off, he snapped. I can, I said quietly. When it comes to my child, I can do anything. Noah's small hand slid into mine. I squeezed it. I won't be bringing Noah over anymore. I said, if Mom wants to see him, she can visit us. Alone. My mom's eyes filled with tears. Sweetheart, I love you, I told her. But I won't let him grow up thinking love sounds like humiliation. My stepdad shook his head. You're turning him soft. The world won't protect him. I knelt beside Noah and brushed his hair back. I'm not raising him to survive cruelty. I said softly, I'm raising him to know it's wrong. Then I stood up, picked up my bag, and took Noah's hand. As we reached the door, he called out one last time. You'll regret this. I turned back. No, I said, the only thing I regret is not doing it sooner. And for the first time in years, I walked out of that house without feeling small. Outside, the air felt lighter. Noah looked up at me. Are you mad at Grandpa? I crouched down. I'm not mad. I said carefully. I'm protecting you. He nodded slowly. Can I draw my capes again? I smiled. As big as you want. Behind us, the door closed. And with it, the last bit of power my stepdad ever thought he had over us. A week passed. No angry calls. No dramatic messages. Just silence. Then my mom showed up at my door. Alone. She looked tired. Older somehow. I didn't know, she said quietly. About the messages. About Noah. I know, I replied. She swallowed. I let him lead too much. I thought keeping peace was protecting the family. It wasn't, I said gently. It was protecting his ego. She nodded, tears in her eyes. Can I see my grandson? I stepped aside. Noah ran into her arms, holding a new drawing. A superhero. Big cape. Bigger heart. And this time, no one tried to tear it apart. That Father's Day gift